It feels like it's been a really long time since Bungie announced Frontiers, the next expansion model for Destiny 2. Of course, last year, they outlined that they will be moving to this new model, dropping 2 medium-sized expansions in 2025, but versus what we normally see in the marketing build-up for an expansion, Bungie have been pretty quiet this time around. We're expecting Apollo, which is the codename for the first expansion in 2025, to drop in the summer, and if we look back to Lightfall or the Final Shape, we already had a pretty good idea what the theme was going to be for those content drops by now. However, it looks like that could be set to change in the very near future, as with the launch of Heresy Act 2, like we saw earlier in the week, Bungie have dropped some content, or elements of the content that we're going to see for Act 3, like the Rite of the Nine thing, and that was an amusing glitch on launch day. Alongside all of that stuff though, there are new indications about pre-order bonuses for the next expansion for Destiny, as well as Marathon, and sources recently stating that there will be some showcase events in April. And so it looks like we might not have to wait too much longer. We've heard from Bungie leaks in the past that apparently No Land Beyond will be returning to Destiny 2 as a pre-order bonus for the first expansion this year. And now it looks like there are a couple of others in the mix. One of them is the anisotropic shell. Hopefully I'm saying that name correctly. You can see on the tagline, for ghosts who peer outwards with insatiable curiosity. In collections, this is indeed listed as a pre-order bonus. And when we look at pre-order bonus collections in the special deliveries kiosk, we can see Lightfall pre-order items, Final Shape pre-order items, and then a new unnamed category that features 2 classified items, which, for the moment, we can speculate that that includes the No Land Beyond and the Ghost Shell that Bungie leaks have referenced. On top of that though, we can also see an emblem and an exotic emote. The emblem's called External Sights and the emote called Astral Cartography. So putting those names alongside New Land Beyond and the tagline from the Ghost Shell, for ghosts who peer outwards with insatiable curiosity, all of this seems to be pointing towards that Frontiers theme that we will be moving away from the solar system. The important part is though that they're now all in the game, so it's starting to give a stronger indication that some reveals are certainly inbound very soon. However, Destiny isn't the only thing that Bungie are thinking about at the moment, and recently, a new Marathon-themed emblem has also been added to the database. So we can see it here, obviously, with that strong Marathon artwork. Plus, it had been previously shared that there was a Marathon-themed Sparrow in the game files as well. Via databases, interestingly, there are additional things that demonstrate there could be Marathon items in Destiny 2 linked to actual pre-orders. And a couple of weeks back, it was reported that a Marathon announcement is expected in April of 2025 with its own showcase event. Obviously, with this being a brand new IP and Bungie title, a showcase event for this would be relatively significant. And according to Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb, Marathon wasn't shown at the State of Play for PlayStation last month because Bungie is planning to announce more about the game separately, and that it would follow Bungie's traditional approach similar to how it handles Destiny 2 updates. Rather than relying on PlayStation marketing or other platforms, the studio is expected to host its own showcase, allowing it to fully control how Marathon is presented to the public. And so basically, things are about to get pretty interesting. On the Destiny front, we're hoping that Frontiers is on track for a release in summer, as indicated. The current season end date lands us somewhere in around mid-July, so that's a possible timeline for a drop for the next expansion. And if Bungie will be revealing Marathon in April, it seems also pretty likely that we're going to get Destiny info very close to that. I think as well, Bungie, from the marketing side, will have an awareness that obviously there's still an audience of players who are pretty hardcore around Destiny. And I think Bungie probably won't want the perception to be that their only interest is now shipping Marathon, right? And that Destiny is essentially taking the back burner. So I wouldn't be surprised if reveals for both of these things happen pretty close to each other, not least because Frontiers obviously isn't that far away at this point. So whatever timeline Bungie are dropping Marathon in, they're probably going to want at least a few months to market their game. So on that basis, I would anticipate we're likely to get the first of the Frontiers expansions, Apollo, before Marathon, but there's clearly a certain order that Bungie want to do things in. Obviously, I can't really speak to Marathon anymore because we don't know that much about it, but on the Destiny front, I definitely think, especially that if the Frontiers expansions are actually going to be good, it's going to work to Bungie's advantage overall to speak about that expansion sooner rather than later. Not that we should be getting ahead of ourselves, but obviously with Destiny being an investment game, there is always an element where certain players like to feel that the future actually has value, right? There is a reason to continue playing the game, and that can influence and impact engagement in the game right now. An additional component we should consider here, but knowing that we're going to get Ride of the Nine and some kind of gameplay event before Frontiers actually drops, I feel like it's likely that Bungie will speak about Frontiers and the Ride of the Nine stuff, whatever will lead us up to that point in time. Yeah, it feels like they'll probably speak about both of those things fairly close to each other, because obviously there is a degree of connectivity between them. The reason that we're getting the Ride of the Nine event is to essentially carry the player base up to that Apollo drop timeline. So ultimately the point is, Bungie are clearly getting everything ready to do these big reveals. Some interesting pre-order items for Destiny as well. So I'm really looking forward to hearing more about it, because Bungie have been incredibly quiet about Frontiers. We know that the game is changing fairly significantly in terms of how they actually drop content. Hopefully we won't be looking at it being delayed outside of the summer of this year, although anything is possible. So share your thoughts on it down below, but if you've been wondering when we're going to get more info, it looks like that time is coming fairly soon. So let us know in the comment section, between Marathon and Frontiers, what are you most excited to see? I know that the Destiny player base has kind of a weird relationship with Marathon. Obviously, there are some folks incredibly excited for it. There also seem to be a lot of folks who feel that Destiny not doing as well as perhaps it could correlates to Bungie moving on to Marathon, where we're probably looking at least half of the Bungie studio focusing on that title. So like I said, I think Bungie will want to be aware of that and consider what impression they're going to give about the future of both of these projects. But share your thoughts in the comment section. If you've enjoyed this quick update for today, a rating really does help us out. Otherwise though, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.